Thank you. You made a transition after the word from the Swiss. I mean, it could be the word from the French, but it won't. I'm agnostic in terms of country here, as I represent DARIAH. It's a real pleasure here to make this kind of introduction for the launch specifically because, well, I see somehow the DARIAH Teach project as a baby of DARIAH, or a spin-off, you would say, in modern words, in the sense that it comes from a group which has worked together within one of our environment. I'll explain that in a minute. I promise not to be more than 5 minutes. So, under the leadership, so Susan Schreiman, I remember discussing with you initial drafts of the projects and possible ideas, and then aggregating a lot of competence. If I start naming people here, I won't manage to do any good to the group, probably. But I need to also thank Claire very much for organizing this final event and having me the opportunity to speak about the context. A little word about DARIAH. Most of you are aware of what it is, but I keep saying two things which DARIAH are not. First, DARIAH is not a project. It's an infrastructure. We're set as a consortium of members for 20 years, whatever it means. And DARIAH is not a DH infrastructure or an infrastructure for DH proper, for digital humanities. It's an infrastructure for the humanities at large, because the humanities are facing a tremendous shift towards digital methods. Even people who have never heard about the kind of things you're describing in some of the modules in DARIAH Teach have to deal with digital sources and are wondering how they can manage with that. So that's part of the objectives of the strategy of DARIAH, of bringing as many humanists into the DH world, one would say, with the help of the experts like you are all in this room. DARIAH has 17 members, but it's very important here to mention also that we've got a lot of associated partners, in particular from Switzerland. Most associated partners are coming from here, so quite a few universities comprising the Université Lausanne are represented, together with the academy here. I think you guys, Beate and Claire, are taking quite some lead in organizing this future, we hope, Swiss participation to the group. DARIAH, because of the urge to move the humanities towards digital methods, is having a strategic plan which is based on very basic services, very basic endeavors, ranging from open science, open access principles, offering repositories for publications in the humanities, to higher level technical environments for those who want to plug, for instance, their repositories into a federated network at European level. But within this global strategy, training is obviously an essential point. We've got a couple of activities. The DARIAH course registry is one of my favorite, as some of you know, which we have to push all over the place, at least to make sure that students in the humanities who want to know something about the digital move can find their place in Europe and see, well, I've got a course I could go to and train myself. We've had a long-standing history of summer school in the context of DARIAH proper, but also in the context of various European projects that have been associated with DARIAH, and we are launching step by step in the context of the HAS project, so-called, oh my goodness, switching to French, tired from the day, Masterclasses. That's one of my favorite terms currently, where the idea is really to bring junior researchers, usually with a project, knowing that they want to go in a certain direction, together with more experienced senior DH colleagues that can help them to fine-tune their projects and bring it to a level which can be considered as a basic DH level in our community. As a point of conclusion, I think one important aspect we have to discuss, all of us, is the future. I mean, DARIAH Teach is finished, if I've understood well. I mean, in June, it's nearly over. We need to see how we do our best within DARIAH to sustain the existing resources, but I think we don't want to freeze the environment, but to see what you've done, how what you've done in the projects can be a kind of a hosting environment for a lot of other initiatives. You've been discussing, and I've been discussing with the director of Clarin, Francisca de Jong, about this, because we want to join efforts. And there is a clear message that we'll do all our efforts to support the infrastructure, to make it live in the future in a way or another. So I think we're quite in phase in this respect. Thank you very much.